Hey there, podcast listeners. Welcome to the next episode of the Podcast of Record. It is the week of February 25th, or I guess technically it's the week of the 24th. The 24th, this is the most important week of the year, though. Rebecca, do you know why this week is the most important week of the year?
No, please educate
All
me.
our production assistants left?
No, well, just one did, but my birthday was yesterday, so it's my birthday week, and
Yes.
we're going to talk later about you not knowing why it's so important.
Of course. How did I not know?
But as always,
She knew. I
Yeah,
don't believe
she
her.
knew. She's just
a liar.
rude. She's just rude. We have the latest in marketing and advertising news for you. We're going to go rapid fire with the news today. I've got a few stories about platforms, then a couple about smart speakers and listening and smart devices in your home. Then we're going to do a deep dive on what, Joe? We're going to talk about moldy hamburgers.
Moldy burgers?
And then what are we going to talk about?
Online marketplaces.
Online marketplaces.
Moldy online marketplaces.
All right, so some quick takes on the news. We've had several platform updates in the last few weeks, or at least platforms rolling out changes that they're going to be making. A big one is that Snapchat is testing a big new redesign for their app. It's going to involve a newer focus on the Snap Map with your Bitmoji doing interesting things around the Snap Map.
Man, who was in their marketing meeting? It was like, guys,
Yeah.
I got it.
Plus some original shows on Snapchat because everybody wants to make original shows now.
I need more vertical video in my life.
And some new test of news briefs inside of Snapchat.
Come a long way from just dick pics.
Who here still has a Snapchat?
I don't do anything. I still have one. I mean, I never really did
Producer
anything
Kyle,
on Snapchat.
do you still
though.
use Snapchat?
Nope.
I mean, I never really did
Nope.
do anything on Snapchat is the
Yeah.
thing, though.
I'm not a snappity chatter.
I'm a TikTok lurker, though. I do a lot of like browsing on TikTok. I've never posted anything because now I feel like I need to come up with something really good to be my first TikTok post. And I only have like 3 friends on TikTok, but I watch a lot of videos on TikTok. It's very funny.
Dude, consuming is not the same as creating.
Well, you're not even on TikTok, so you don't even know how it works.
I've thought a lot about
You've
it.
thought a lot about it. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
probably written about it too, just never actually been on
Probably
it.
probably has-
recommended people to use it.
He probably has conspiracy theories about
He's
it.
probably trying to buy some ads for it right
Well,
now.
I mean,
but
there's no conspiracy theory about TikTok. It's owned by the Chinese
TikTok
government.
is the conspiracy.
It
Yeah.
is the conspiracy.
So Google launched a new project from their in-house incubator, which is called Area 120. So they are launching a new app called, I don't know how to pronounce it, Tangi, Tangi. But it's a short-form video app specifically focused on creativity and do-it-yourself. Rebecca, you are super into creativity and do-it-yourself. What do you
Yes.
think about Google's new app?
Well, I'd have to experiment with it.
Wait, what is
but
it do?
I am very intrigued.
It is a short-form video app. It is specifically focused on like do-it-yourself and like creativity. So like projects, making cakes,
I honestly feel like
interesting.
restoring stuff.
so far, at initial glance, this is just going to make me much more ambitious.
I mean, it's kind of like a learning platform, right? They're trying to show people how to do.
Trying to get more videos on YouTube.
Yep.
Is there a time
Like
limit?
more
Do
long
we
tail
know?
videos on YouTube.
We do not know a lot about it yet. I mean, it's out, so you can download it. It's not
Okay.
like a secret. So maybe we should download it and have a full recap by next week's
Yeah.
episode.
I'm down. It says most average around 45 seconds. That's about how long my attention span is.
Yep. So along that line, Facebook is also getting into that space. So Facebook's latest experiment is called Hobby, but it's HOBBI.
Ooh, you don't say.
You got to spell
Wow.
it differently. And
Man,
it's
give
an
that
app
marketing team a raise.
to document your personal projects. So kind of different, but basically the same.
Okay, but wait, I would do this because I want people to tell me what a good job I did when I'm done with it.
Yeah, so this one it seems like is more focused on showcasing what you've built than it is like teaching other people how to do it. It seems
Yeah.
like Tangy is more about do it yourself. Here's the steps to create something. It looks like the one that Facebook has built is basically just an interesting way to showcase interesting things you've done.
I personally welcome this concept because
Because you don't know how to do
media
anything around your house.
is at its worst when it's just people giving you pictures of random things that you don't care about. At least
Yeah.
if they're giving you pictures of like things they've done or know how to do,
That could be
that's
useful.
valuable. Yeah,
Could be useful to some people for sure.
Jonathan's new obsession is watching these videos of people taking old rusted things.
Oh, that's
and
all over
breaking
YouTube.
them apart and then cleaning
Restoring
each
them.
little
them.
part,
Oh, yeah,
restoring
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah,
I saw a
like-
1997 Game Boy Color
Yeah.
that was in bad shape get fully restored.
Yeah.
A
But,
big
like-
thing is shoes. So like taking a brand new
yeah.
pair of expensive sneakers,
And cobbling
sticking
it.
them in mud for like a week and just letting the mud and nastiness soak into them, and then using, whatever branded cleaning products they're trying to sell you at the end of the video scrub up the shoes and wash different parts, take them
That's definitely
apart,
targeted to you.
reassemble them. Oh, I mean, for sure.
Restoration
Except
YouTube
I don't want to get mine dirty.
is a big part of YouTube.
Yeah, for sure.
Bigger than most people realize.
Well, this is Facebook, but yeah, that he watches
Okay.
on. But I don't
didn't
even
know.
want to tell him about the YouTube stuff because
Yeah, it's big on Facebook too. The like suggested for you, so it's not being paid
Yes.
to promote the suggested for you stuff. If you watch like
just
one,
streams
Yeah.
them.
so like the epoxy and resin videos where you just pour resin into random pieces of wood
You're
and
gonna see
make
a lot
really
more of this.
ugly colored things.
Those platforms has like time on mobile device has stopped going up. We're spending about as much time on media as we're going to spend. The platforms now just can't grow, into having more time to sell you ads. They're actually having to compete over content now.
For sure. Yep. So, and the last one before we move on to start talking about smart speakers is Pinterest is getting into the augmented reality game. And specifically, they're debuting a feature powered by a lens for lipstick shopping. So it shows you what different colors of lipstick would look like on your face. I don't know that I have a strong opinion about this. It's an interesting use of like augmented reality technology, and Pinterest is probably the best place for it.
Yeah. I mean, I know people that I think would probably be highly interested in this.
Well, I mean, the makeup culture on social media is huge right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think personally, this isn't something I would use, but I would do it for hairstyles for sure.
Joe, is this something you would use?
No.
Okay.
No,
Producer
Sarah?
Kyle.
I don't trust AR.
Are you talking specifically about lipstick?
I am
or-
talking specifically about lipstick.
Okay, no, I wouldn't.
What if it put you in a random Jeep?
Oh, well then maybe.
Then you might be interested.
Yeah.
See which kind of Jeep is your color.
Yeah.
Which color?
I mean, the AR, I'm really interested in the AR, just like with the shopping experiences stuff. But I mean, not lipstick.
What if you could try on every shirt at Howler through AR?
Ooh.
I just buy them anyway, so it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, they don't even have to spend money to get to him. Yep.
Kyle just actually has us wire some of his paycheck every 2 weeks just to Howler Brothers.
We get a discount. Yeah.
I sometimes just go into the support tickets and just say hello.
Hey guys, thank you for doing what you do.
All right, let's talk about smart speakers for a second. So out of the smart speakers that exist in people's homes right now, Joe, what would you say the percentage of those are
80% Amazon?
that are Amazon? Okay, so there's 70%
Okay.
Amazon Alexa devices, so pretty close. So, I mean, Amazon Alexa devices obviously dominate the smart speaker market. What's interesting is there's a new report from a couple of weeks ago that suggests that shopping is just not taking off on smart speakers, which was a big hope that they had at the beginning. Was you were going to say, Alexa, refill my toilet paper, and she was going to just go ahead and pump out that big pack of TP to your house. It doesn't seem like the smart speakers are actually being used for that. Is that a weakness for Amazon?
They haven't fully turned on that ecosystem yet. I think so. There's this really good documentary on PBS that came out last Tuesday. It was a Frontline on Amazon, like a 2-hour documentary. One of the things Amazon is doing is they're not fully actualizing all the pieces of that ecosystem they have right now because of the political pressure they're under or worried they're going to be under for anti-competitive behavior. My guess is they could start
But
pumping.
Jeff Bezos just gave $10 billion to fight climate change.
I mean, I don't actually disagree with you. You don't have to. I mean, I have an unpopular take on the big tech companies, and I don't think it actually benefits you to break them up but that's probably beyond this podcast.
Kyle, this is where we need a button that has like a little musical number for Joe's unpopular hot takes.
Yeah. Joe's unpopular hot takes.
Insert Joe rant.
No, so Amazon could start pushing sales on that. All they would have to do is have Alexa just remind you. Like, she reads you the news, tells you whether, and like, oh, Joe, it's been a while since you ordered X or Y thing. I know you order routinely.
So they've started doing that. They haven't done it to the extent yet where she talks to you. So what I noticed about a month ago was one of my Alexa devices was just randomly blinking yellow, and nothing was wrong with it. Like rebooted, it was still blinking yellow. Come to find out,
You gotta actually read those notifications.
it's because I've got a notification in my account, which I've never really had to deal with before.
that's
And it was
weird.
reminding me to stock up on something that I'd purchased 6 months ago that it assumed I was about to be out of. It
Yeah.
was incorrect, but
Well,
nonetheless.
has anyone else noticed that they're trying to give Alexa a little bit more of a personality? Like, the biggest use in our household for Alexa is asking her the weather that day and like the temperature.
For sure.
And every time you ask her, in my house at least, she tells you, she'll say like, it's 70 degrees outside, 0% chance of rain. Have a nice day. And she always gives like this little like comment at the end, like, have a good evening. And I personally get creeped out by it every time, but like it makes me think like, oh, they're putting in work to give her more of a personality and try to make her feel more like a person and have traditional conversation.
They're trying to make
have
it
you noticed that?
Yeah, I have. This actually lends an interesting question. So, what would you say the most popular use for Alexa-enabled devices is?
I think weather.
Weather. Okay. Joe, what would you say?
If I had to rank them, it's going to be like news, weather, music, home automation.
Okay. What is most for you?
News, weather.
Okay. Yours is news, weather, Rebecca?
Weather and automation.
Timers might be really high on the list too, like kitchen
Especially in the
timers.
kitchen, yeah.
Yeah.
Kyle,
timers.
do you have an Alexa-enabled device
I mean,
at home?
we always ask Alexa in the office to make fart noises, so I don't know if that's on the list.
That's
but
true. I mean, I
routinely
have an
around
Alexa in
here.
my car, and that's
Must-
when you asked it to make fart noises.
Must be at least top 10.
Producer Kyle, do you have an Alexa device?
I do not, but I have one on my desk here, and it's 100% for music and fart noises. So
Perfect. So
Musical
I'm
fart
I guess
noises.
the only person that doesn't have an answer that's news or fart noises. Mine is most used at home for home automation because
Yeah.
I'm super into
Yeah,
home
yeah.
automation. So our Alexa controls almost every light bulb in the house.
I mean, what I think people should do when they're guests in other people's houses is immediately just walk into their house and issue an Alexa command. Just walk into a.
That's what
a
my
new friend and be
4-year-old
like,
niece does.
Alexa, turn on the lights.
I mean,
Alexa, turn off the lights.
That's literally what
And
my
just see what
4-year-old niece
happens.
does when she walks into a house. So
Side plug for Matt Farrar. If anyone is interested in automating their home but doesn't know how to, you can hire Matt Farrar to do it for you.
no, you most certainly cannot.
It's only $10 an hour.
Yeah, no, it was a big enough pain in the ass to do it the first time. Matt Farrar is not interested
You
in
can get Matt
consulting.
Farrar, Matt at Choose,
You
SDS.
can, you can sign up for my course.
It's mandatory. He actually has to do it as part of a court order.
Yeah.
Sign up for the home automation masterclass.
You can sign up for my $399 masterclass on how to install smart light bulbs in your home at RebeccaIsRude.com. All right, so that's the rapid fire news segment. It wasn't that rapid fire because we went down a couple rabbit holes. But Joe, let's talk about your moldy hamburger.
Yeah, so we're a little bit late on this. This happened like 6 days ago, but Burger King rolled out.
I'm sorry, we only do a podcast every 7 days, so I'm sorry we can't just switch to doing one every
I
single
wish
day.
the Burger King ad people were kind enough to wait for the day before our podcast.
What Joe
to
really
talk about
wishes is that we were doing a podcast every single day.
I would have a much easier life. So Burger King rolled out a campaign designed to highlight that their burgers have no preservative. They have no preservatives in the food. And so the hinge point of the campaign was a video where they just laid a Whopper down and time-lapsed the Whopper rotting. And then this is backed up by a bigger billboard and outdoor campaign of rotten burgers. That is the Whopper campaign. And what I want to talk about are kind of two things. Like, let's go around the table. Good idea. Is that campaign for a restaurant a good idea?
So the dots were connected very easily when I saw the campaign. I was like, oh, that stemmed at combating McDonald's and the experiment that everyone does where you put a hamburger in a plastic box or a container and let it age
Who does
for
this
months at a time.
experiment?
So the funny part is my old, one of my first jobs did it. It was
There's
a
a
martial
decent number of
arts
people.
school.
Doctors' offices do it a
Yeah.
lot to like show people why they shouldn't be eating fast food.
Or
Yeah,
you should. It'll preserve your insides.
I worked at a martial arts school that had like a little nutrition center in it, and the nutrition center had it on display. And I think by the time I left working there, it was like 2 years old, and it looked in perfectly fine condition. And so as soon as I saw this campaign, I was like, oh, it's basically a knock at McDonald's. And I didn't even really think about how gross it was that there's a moldy hamburger in front of me. So anyone else who didn't have a direct experience with that experiment, their take?
I thought it was.
I think it's flat.
It generated a lot of attention,
Yeah.
which I think was the goal. It had, I walked into Matt's office and even, CNBC was covering the Burger King Whopper thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the initial video got them 90% of the earned media. I think the mistake they're making is posting pictures and billboards around of their food product in a disgusting state.
Yeah.
Because I think you can get away with that exposure once and people don't tie it to the product.
Right.
But if you expose them to that image 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 times, you're starting to develop an association that you don't want to have. And disgust is an extremely strong cognitive association in humans.
That's hard to alter once it exists.
Yeah. So once it's there, this is like evolutionary hardwired. We don't like to eat places that have made us sick before. We don't like to eat places where we've seen things that are gross.
Yeah.
And I think they
Unfortunately
could get away
for me,
the
I
first
find
one.
hair in my food literally everywhere we go, so I don't have any choice but to eat there.
I mean, it's a skill.
Yeah, it is a skill.
So I will say, when I watched the video, I think the biggest flaw that they did in their time lapse was not giving you any kind of time progression, except for the first that said day 1, the first scene, and then the last scene that said, like, I think day 34. So as I was watching it showed day 1, and then it started to age, and it took me about halfway through to realize, like, oh, this has been multiple days. This is not what a Burger King burger looks like by the end of the day, because then I was going to be mortified. I was like,
Rots in one
wait,
day.
you give this 3 hours of oxygen and this is what it looks like?
Did this ad accomplish anything other than making Burger King executives feel good for taking a shot at McDonald's?
It got them a lot of attention.
But
which I
what
think was
kind of
valuable.
attention?
Positive. I think it mostly
But
got...
did it make anyone want to eat at Burger King more?
Not I.
No.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
so, I mean, other than making the executives feel better that, like, they...
Or culturally
they got
relevant for a second.
Yeah, they got
And edgy.
a jaw shot in at McDonald's. Like, did it do anything?
Yeah, and then this, of course, opened up the the responses from competitors. There's a company, BurgerFi, and they had a video that was pretty smart. And the video was in the style of that old 1980s, this is your brain on drugs. But it was like...
The original was eggs, right? They did eggs.
Yeah, they would crack an egg.
Mm-hmm.
This one was like, this is your burger, and then you just hear a burger cooking, and then, this is your burger on antibiotics or on steroids. And they made it basically a hit at Burger King for having like GMO, steroid, antibiotic-laden beef.
Well, and that's kind of my problem is, like, does Burger King really want to be the ones that are
In that
wading
fight?
into the, like, we
Yeah.
have great quality products? Like, this is the same company that had a scandal a few years ago because of the percentage of horse meat DNA that was in their burger
Nay.
that made everyone feel uncomfortable, right? Like, what are chicken fries made out of?
Gross.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not your key fast food consumer though.
Right, but
so-
like, does Burger King want to be the ombudsman through the discussion of, like,
Yeah.
high quality ingredients?
Yeah.
I don't think they do.
And they had, I think this was like a Wyden and Kennedy and a few other, like I think there was some big names involved in doing this campaign, and so it got attention, which was probably the primary goal. Now the strategy of what they're getting attention for, like, I don't know if that's correct, but like succeeded in getting attention because we're talking about it.
Right.
We're the arbiters of if it mattered.
We are the arbiters of if it mattered. It
curious
was
to
an
see.
Ogilvy
Ogilvy.
shop,
Was it?
Ogilvy,
Okay.
yeah, and Gray and Publicis.
Okay.
I'm curious to see if they expand on it beyond this.
Oh, Wyden and Kennedy, the reason I was thinking of them, they had the Nike, the Kobe one.
Mm.
Which is kind of weird. Does Nike still pay the family? Is it still an endorsement if you're dead?
That's an interesting question. I don't know.
Yeah.
My guess is as long as they're continuing to run the campaign,
Yeah, they
they're
gotta pay
obligated
the
to pay
family.
out the
I mean, that's
contract
probably
deal.
one of the things in the contracts.
Yeah.
Is like,
Is if they're going to
They-
continue to use this.
they
It, like,
still-
probably gives them an option to get out.
how many years until somebody does like a Nike does like a CG Kobe
What is CG Kobe going to do?
computer generated?
No, I mean, what is he going to
Who
do?
cares?
Yeah. What's the
Just
context?
gets attention. Like you have a
I
tragically
guess my point is,
killed
like, they
celebrity
have
athlete.
they have a ton of, like, actual video of him doing things, though. So what
Are
do
you
we
talking
need?
about like an homage of like all the greats, and there's like CGI Kobe on
Yeah.
a field with like all
CGI
the other
Kobe or
greats?
CGI Kobe, like in a
Rebecca,
Super Bowl
basketball players
commercial.
don't play on a field.
Court, whatever.
They play on a court.
Yeah, but like
I'm just a dumb girl. Doesn't know anything
that's
about
why we're
sport.
here to help
if
you.
showing a rotten burger gets you attention, there's no reason why showing like a dead celebrity who died tragically wouldn't get you attention. So if you could,
Well, I mean, we had the
CG them-
CGI little Sebastian.
Is that the horse in Parks and Rec?
It is the
Well,
horse
there
in
was
Parks and
CGI Leia in
Recreation.
one of the Star Wars, right?
Sure.
So when are we going to see like some advertisers shock everybody and have this debate over whether it's okay or not to have a CGI dead celebrity?
Probably a couple of years.
It may not even be that long.
Yeah.
It's probably just
If I'm thinking of it right now, and I'm not the smartest guy around,
Ever.
probably somebody at Nike, they're already CGI-ing that Kobe.
Might as well have the file on hand. Doesn't
Yeah,
hurt. You know?
I mean, we could just go ahead and make the 3D file, right? Like, yeah, just in case.
Going back to the Whopper, what is a good campaign that Burger King could have launched to get into this, like, our food has no preservatives and thus degrades over time like food should? What if this wasn't the way to do it? What was a good way to do it?
The problem is I just don't know that preservatives, if you look at food concerns, are actually at the top of that heap, right? It's going to be, is the food ethically sourced? Like, it's going to be the BurgerFi thing. Ethically sourced, GMO, antibiotics, steroids, things like that.
Rebecca?
People like food that's not rotten.
They mimic the Chick-fil-A campaign where their mascot is a horse instead. That's saying, like, eat more beef.
It's a cow.
That's unfortunate.
But like, there's a company you're never going to see talk about like the source of its meat.
Well,
Like Chick-fil-A.
that's my point, right? They don't really want to get into the conversation about like ingredients.
Yeah. I mean, if I was in the fast food world, I would not want to be in the conversation about ingredients.
Like Chick-fil-A is fine with being in that conversation because they literally just ship like 3 things to their stores every week. They ship chopped up pieces of chicken.
Yeah, but they wouldn't want to talk about
Chicken
where
fillets.
the chickens come from.
Probably not. No.
It would be a bad look for, little.
Yeah, I mean, look,
Scooter, the 10-year-old.
Panera doubled down on, antibiotic-free, hormone-free, stimulant-free chicken a couple years ago, and it's worked out okay for them.
Yeah, I mean, they're still Panera, so that's a thing.
Well, I mean, they would still be Burger King if they did it, so that's still a thing. Like, the chicken fry is still a thing that exists.
Do you have an idea of a campaign?
I don't know. I was just curious if we don't think this was the right way to do it, like, what is the right way to do it?
I wouldn't have gone into that issue. I'd be like, hey, this probably
Okay,
isn't
I mean,
winning
that's a fair
issue for
answer,
us.
is like, that's not the thing you should be talking about.
I mean, if you're Burger King, what are you good at? You're good at being like a little bit edgy. You're edgier than McDonald's. Do edgy things. I mean, I guess the rotten burger is edgy, but the problem
it is edgy.
It's edgy in a argument that doesn't actually benefit you comparatively.
They could always bring the king back who makes people feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, like the creepy king.
Yeah.
That, like,
Yeah, he didn't survive Me Too.
He didn't survive a lot of things.
he's on trial as we speak.
The king. All right. What do we got next?
I don't know. What do you want to talk about for the final story? You want to talk about
Little
marketplaces?
So last week we were talking about
Poshmark.
Pish Posh, as I call it. Pish Posh.
Pish posh.
And fashionism.
And fashionism. So, that got me thinking, like all these online marketplaces, if these online marketplaces, like if you could walk into them and you looked around, like what type of stores would those people also be shopping at? Right? So, retail stores have a certain person you envision. If I say, I saw somebody in a Walmart, an image comes to mind. There's literally Instagram people of Walmart, right? It's a thing.
Tell us about that image, Jim.
About the Walmart image?
Sure.
Well, I think the Walmart image, whether this is true or not, is, the Walmart image is a very not well-kept person who's probably overweight, maybe in a scooter.
Minimal clothing, though.
Minimal
like a tank
clothing,
top.
a tank top, yeah.
Perhaps some Cookie Monster pajama pants.
Yeah.
Definitely Cookie Monster.
Target is where all the Katies shop. Target is like
And
the
Rebecca's.
millennial place, yeah. The millennial women, and so there's a type you think of when you think of these places.
Mm-hmm.
So here's our list of.
I like this game.
You're already into it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Etsy, Alibaba, Amazon, eBay, Poshmark, Facebook Marketplace. Kyle can ring in on that one. Instagram. I put Instagram in here because Instagram, you can actually transact directly through the platform. Craigslist, and then we felt like Walmart.com was enough of its own thing to be included. So let's go ahead and start Walmart.
But the rule is we can't describe Walmart.com as the Walmart.
Correct, yeah. And Rebecca's,
That doesn't work.
I already got Rebecca's take. So let's start with Walmart.com, and we'll do a round table here.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle, you can pass on the ones you need to pass on because I know you're over there trying to switch cameras. So the Walmart.com is The people you see in Walmart.com are also people you see where?
Target.
Rebecca says Walmart.com is Target. Matt, what do you say?
I think Walmart.com is the mall.
The mall?
Yeah.
I'm with Rebecca on the Target one.
Okay.
I think just to disclaim that it's just kind of pleasant. Like if you haven't been on Walmart.com, like it just doesn't feel. It's kind of easy to search.
I say
things
the
look
mall
clean.
because of this. Walmart is actually doing a huge bit of revenue now on selling products that Walmart is not fulfilling.
Yeah.
So like they are selling third-party stores, just allowing them to sell through Walmart.com. That's why I said the mall, because it's filled with a bunch of different stores masquerading under the same roof.
Yep.
Okay. Craigslist. If you could see the people shopping on Craigslist, what store?
Drug
would
dealer
those
on the
people-
corner.
Garage sales.
Yard sale, garage sale. That's what I thought. That was an easy one. Instagram.
But not the garage sale that bothered to get an ad in the newspaper.
Oh, no.
No.
No, this is
the garage sale with like a hand-painted sign
that
that's
puts
actually
it out,
a
but then it
leftover,
leaves it up for weeks.
But it's
Yeah.
also like a leftover campaign sign from the last election.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, they just wrote on the backside.
Instagram.
Oh. Okay, so I have an interesting take on this.
Go for it.
I think Instagram shopping is kind of lazy, and it shows you a bunch of stuff you really don't need.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it's QVC.
Yeah, it's like home shopping.
Okay. I
Right,
like
because
that.
it's a bunch of stuff. They have to show you these like 4-minute long videos to get you interested in it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm constantly being targeted now by this video for like a shovel that is also an axe, that is also a spear.
Yeah,
that
I'm
is
going to
also
go
a
with
screwdriver.
I'm going
that
to
is
go with
also a
center
hammer.
kiosk at the mall.
Ooh,
where
center
someone's
kiosk.
chasing
That's
you
a
down
good
and
one.
saying like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you need this Dead Sea face scrub."
Okay,
Yeah.
center kiosk is a good one.
Please try this hand cream. You're like,
All
I'm
right.
good.
Facebook Marketplace. Flea market.
Flea market.
That's what's easy for
flea
me. It's just
market.
the flea
Yeah,
market.
it's the
Yeah.
flea market.
Yeah.
You might find something great. You might find like a used pair of underwear.
Kyle, you're a Facebook marketplacer. What's your take?
Mine would be like Goodwill. It'd be like you never know what you're gonna find, but most
Yeah.
of it's
Okay,
shit.
that's good.
I can see this.
Yeah. It's the Wild West out there on Facebook Marketplace, man.
Yeah.
Someone's trying to sell a 2010 MacBook for $3,000.
What's
and
it
then-
come loaded with though? It's what's on the
But
computer.
also this weekend saw like these beautiful blue chairs for $10 for all three of them, and I was like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Poshmark. Pish posh.
Poshmark is high-end consignment shop.
That's too easy.
Well, I mean that's
That's the
same
analog
audience,
though. Like it is the high-end consignment shop.
but
Is that the analog shopper?
I
like-
mean also okay, I'll give you this Anthropology.
Okay. Why?
Same people you'd shop on.
I don't know anything about
Poshmark.
Anthropology.
They have okay, so I mean Anthropology is kind of a difficult example because
Is it like expensive Target?
it's like expensive world market
Okay.
where things are sourced from like all over the world.
A lot of clothes, but
crafted-
also other random stuff.
right,
Yeah.
crafted
Yeah.
by artisans, but also have some like kitschy brands.
Artisan Chinese factories.
Well, no
Stuff
but-
with coronavirus.
yeah.
Coronavirus is respiratory.
So I would think Anthropology is similar because you have a taste
Okay.
for quality, but you want it at
Yeah.
like
All right. That works.
eBay. If you could see the people who are on eBay,
Dollar General.
where else would those people be shopping? Dollar General? Matt?
Yeah, a dollar store is probably the best.
I see like a craft or like a fall festival type deal here, like a festival where you have all these booths set up.
No, that's like Etsy to me.
That's Etsy.
Yeah.
Mine's like a used car lot, but like
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
like has other things, like a swap meet.
Yeah.
Exactly
Yeah.
what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Amazon.
Big Lots.
Big Lots. Well,
Amazon is almost too universal now
Well,
to have its own
so
like customer type.
I think Amazon Prime is Target, and then regular Amazon is Big
is
Lots.
or Walmart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could see that.
Alibaba.
Oh,
The trunk of some dude's car.
No, I mean Alibaba is like the wholesale warehouse that like doesn't do any advertising and doesn't even have a sign up, but just
Yeah.
like if you need to buy 5,000 forks for your new restaurant, like like
Yeah.
oh, go see Bobby up at
It's
like
out on the outskirts of town.
yeah, no, I mean it's
Yeah.
definitely in the cheapest real estate possible. Like,
Yeah.
hey, remember that old shopping center that like the government took over for a while and like put tax collectors'
I
offices
don't think
in?
that happens in other cities.
It does. No, it definitely happens in other cities. Like you should go to that one. I mean, we obviously have bat poop in some of the shopping centers here in Tallahassee, which is a whole separate issue.
But they have some of those places that are
Guano.
membership based, so it's different than that of like the restaurant.
Ooh,
wholesale.
it's the Sam's Club Costco. Alibaba is the
Okay.
Sam's Club
Yeah,
Costco.
get your bulks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get your bulks.
I wouldn't buy food though off Alibaba.
No, but you might buy ingredients to make
But I could
food,
get
right?
a-
Like you might buy 10,000
Yeah.
like salt packets to put out at your restaurant on Alibaba.
Yeah. I know I can get a $100 35-foot Christmas tree.
Yeah, you get
That's
it.
true.
All right.
Is that the last one?
And
on the
wrapping paper
list?
galore.
I like this game. This is
So
fun.
Etsy, which we already decided was craft fair, right? Etsy
or farmers market.
or farmers market.
Farmers
Yeah.
market, like art festivals, right? So like the downtown arts festival that happens on Saturdays during the spring, like that's Etsy.
Yeah. No one else, if they're not in Tallahassee, know what the hell
I
that is.
guarantee you there's some analog in every place.
It's like the arts of the weekly arts and craft festival.
Yeah, and like maybe it just comes for 3 weekends, but every like mid-sized town in America has some little festival that
Yeah.
pops up where people are selling mediocre
So kind of like
paintings and
tie out, not tie out, close out question for this, like that retail term there, close out question for this. There's so many marketplaces available to sell stuff. How should sellers decide where to be? Because being on all of them, in some of them you can't be on. Like you can't be on Etsy if
Sure.
you're a whatever. Like,
well, you're not selling single items on Alibaba
yeah.
either.
How should retailers decide where they want to be
Decide who your target audience is.
and go there?
I mean, yeah, that's kind of.
But I mean, so right, you have this issue where like Amazon has heavy overlap with all these things. Like Walmart has heavy overlap with all these things.
I think it depends on what you're selling, right? Like if there are a lot of other options in the marketplace for what you're selling, then your separation from the rest of the crowd may be brand power, in which case you might want to consider setting up your own store or going with Shopify, right? If there's 30 other versions of your exact same product in the Amazon store, it's going to be really difficult unless you have a big marketing budget to just go in and compete with those existing brands
Yeah.
on Amazon. So I think I think you got to know what you're selling and what the competition is before you can make the decision on where you're going to sell it. I mean, it's never been easier to set up your own website and take payments directly.
Yeah.
Until you start selling a huge volume, it's fairly easy for most sellers to figure out the fulfillment and shipping issues that go along with that. It gets a little bit harder when you start selling in volume, but I mean, it's never been easier to do, but I think you have to make the decision, like, does the competition mandate that I need to be out here doing it on my own and trying to build a brand?
Yeah.
Or am I just trying to move product by selling it 20 cents cheaper than the other products are doing it in the same Amazon store?
So based on that, I have a theory for you. And it goes something like this, that the types of retail companies and retail products that get started are directly related to the cost of advertising online for that product.
Okay.
So it would follow something like this. Like 5 or 6 years ago, what did you see being sold on Facebook? T-shirts.
Mm-hmm.
So, low cost, a $20 product, low customer lifetime value. People aren't coming back for that custom T-shirt. But Facebook costs were low. And what do you see being sold on Facebook today? Furniture, Casper mattresses,
yep.
Retail stores that know if they acquire you as a customer, they can remarket to you because they have a higher customer lifetime value. And so there's this interesting case I heard made that one of the downsides of the duopoly, only having a Facebook and Google, is that as their ad prices get bid up, you start to restrict the types of products that can be sold on them to only very high price products or very high customer lifetime value products.
Yeah.
And so it's actually harder to start a one-off store and promote it and get found by it unless you already have an audience for another reason.
I think that's fair. Meanwhile, Wendy's is just over here getting attention for their Twitter account and probably spending $0 a year on Twitter.
Has
Yeah.
anyone tried their breakfast yet?
I have not.
What's Wendy's doing?
They just came out with breakfast. Apparently, they have coffee.
Well, did you mean what I was talking about?
Yeah, what are
like
you
the
talking
Wendy's Twitter accounts
Okay,
where they're
yeah.
like roasting people, right? They get a huge amount of free earned media
Well-
from the stuff they do on Twitter, and they're spending $0 on Twitter advertising.
There's this conundrum, though, right? Which is if you want to sell stuff online,
right. Wendy's isn't selling chicken nuggets online.
but you've got to basically build the audience around the thing that you're not selling.
Mhm.
And this is, this thesis has been around for a while that basically you have to build the media company before you can sell the product. So you could almost argue that it doesn't matter what it is you're building that account around to get a following, just so long as you have a following, and then you can sell whatever you want off of it later.
Yeah, you just need some sort of path, even if
Yeah.
it's not a very direct one, to tie it to what
Which
you're
is
doing
a
later
weird
on.
way to build a business in retail,
So,
right?
I mean, I think with TikTok and some of these newer apps where people are getting a lot of heavy organic or engagement, the first person to figure out how to successfully pivot that into a new brand is going to find a lot of value from it, right? The 500th person that does it is probably not going to get that kind of upside, but these first few people, I mean, there are high school kids that are generating tens of millions of impressions of their content on TikTok, and all they're doing is screwing around with their friends. The first one of them that decides they want to build whether it's a t-shirt brand, whether it's create their own product, doesn't really matter, and pivot to that is going to be really nicely cashed in there.
Yeah, they can start hawking T-shirts.
Yep.
What'd you have, Rebecca?
In your experience on TikTok, are you able to like tag products and stuff like the other platforms?
There
allow,
is no like marketplace function in TikTok yet, but you could promote the hell out of whatever it is
Right.
you want
Can you
to
outlink
sell.
in TikTok?
Not that I've seen.
Okay.
So you just have to put the URL there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or just
Like,
tell
or
the, or
say
just
the
tell someone where you could find it, right?
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
in that case you just need a short URL, or you need to say you can
Yeah.
find it on Amazon or whatever it is.
Interesting.
And brands can be on TikTok, so I mean
Yeah.
you might be able to link in your profile. I don't know the answer to that.
Should new brands spend time on these emerging platforms, or should they focus on the duopoly
I don't think
where all the value
I don't
comes
think
from?
new brands should be right now probably spending a lot of time putting their accounts on TikTok. I think they should be looking for influencers in their space that
Yeah.
they can make early deals before they've really taken off to get their content
Before
placed
anyone
on
knows they're a
TikTok.
big deal.
Yeah, I mean nobody cares what Hardee's is saying on TikTok, right? Like the average 17-year-old user on TikTok does not care about the thick burger.
That's a damn shame.
It is a damn shame. But if Hardee's can find a way to get interesting content into the feed of one of these kids that's generating tens of millions of views.
So you
on
just pay
TikTok.
that kid to go to Hardee's and goof around.
Yeah, or like
Yeah.
find the one thing on the menu at Hardee's that like 17-year-olds would be attracted to.
Milkshakes,
Apple pies.
Whatever.
burgers. All right, I think that's all I have.
Rebecca, any final thoughts? I'm just looking at TikTok to see if there is a way to.
To outlink.
Yep.
No closing thoughts.
I mean, this is a
You can, just like Instagram, you can outlink in your
Bio.
So
My real closing thought is I probably need to be on TikTok.
it's very interesting. So, I mean, I will compliment TikTok's algorithm. Like, very quickly, it determined what I thought was funny.
Yeah.
Like, just based on whether I watched the video all the way through.
And what is that, Matt?
I mean, it's a mix of things, right? But like I see repeated themes because I mean, a big part of TikTok is like one person creates this challenge or does something funny, and then a bunch of other people try and recreate it. So like one I saw the other day is this guy started like talking in a really high pitched voice outside his door and then opened his door and his dog was just like going crazy on the other side and freaking out for him to get home. So I saw someone else do it and literally had a pet monkey. So he did the same thing, started like talking in a high-pitched voice, getting it hyped up, opened the door, and the monkey is literally bouncing off the walls on the inside, like flying around the room. So stuff like that where you see like the theme play out over time is pretty funny.
I like
But again,
it.
I haven't posted anything on TikTok and I have like 2 friends, so
I'll be your friend when I get on it.
thanks. All right, Joe, anything else?
Nope.
Producer Kyle, anything else? Thank you, listener, for joining us this week. We'll be back next week with the latest marketing, advertising, and whatever interesting cultural news we decide to bring your way. Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you next week.